and welcome to the Jim Bakker Show. I'm your co-host, Tammy Sue Bakker. Today's special guest, Rick Joyner. And now, please give a warm welcome to my parents and the hosts of the Jim Bakker Show, Jim and Lori Bakker.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gray Street. We're so grateful that you could stop by to be with us. Rick Joyner is here in the house today.
Yes.
Good to have you here, Rick.
Good to be back. We have to be united, but we were called to be a place where there was enough freedom to openly and candidly debate the main issues of our time. And that's what's being closed down right now, where nobody can really address the issues. You'll be accused of everything under the earth. It's silence the opposition. Don't give them a chance to talk. We will explode into open, violent civil war if we go down that path, just shutting everybody down. The ability to openly and freely debate these issues. One thing is going to help to bring light to the issues and resolution and God's answer to the issues. And that can't happen without the openness, the debate, living in the light instead of the darkness. So we have to maintain that freedom.
Everywhere I turn, somebody wants to impeach. Mrs. Waters, I remember she wanted to impeach the president the week he was elected. Is that right?
Yeah.
This isn't a new thing.
And it's all we hear is impeach. But the thing that even worries me beyond that is how many people want to have the president murdered.
Yeah.
And they don't get arrested. In the old days, when I was a boy, if you said something like that, you would be in jail.
If you said that about another citizen, you were thinking, this person needs to be killed. I mean, that's not something it's like worse than calling fire in a theater.
That's right.
You're inciting people to do something.
Is the president in danger?
No, I think he is pretty well covered. Not in the natural, but in the spiritual. He has an assignment.
What did Lance Wallnau say? He named him something.
Cyrus.
Yeah, Cyrus. But he also said he was
Chaos.
the
Chaos candidate. Yeah.
Do you think that's a good title for our president? Is he chaotic?
Well, I think he's a bull in a china closet, and it's in a china closet where this stuff needs to be beaten up, bashed, destroyed. And I mean, a lot of these things need a good wrecking. But listen, a lot of it too is, he said he was going to go drain the swamp. And that swamp is really deep, and he's only drained about 1/4 of an inch. And look at all the monsters that have already surfaced.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? All of a sudden, they're being exposed.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe
listen,
we're just seeing the reaction of the swamp creatures?
I think we are. I think we're seeing a lot of the swamp creatures feeling exposed, feeling threatened. And this has to be. You can't deal with these things unless they're manifested. You know, I had a demon manifest at a book signing recently, and a person, of course.
Right.
You can't cast it out. If it doesn't manifest, you don't see it.
That's right.
And then you can cast it out. You know, and a lot of this stuff is being manifested so it can be dealt with.
I think people need to have answers to some things. You know, I think the world of you. I think you're one of the great people in the world. I mean, you're my friend, a true friend that a friend loves at all times, and you have not turned your back on me through my craziness, through my times. But occasionally I read things about you. You have a group that doesn't like you. I think the world of you, and I don't understand. What do you think is in you that you are singled out for some of the great hate people of America that occasionally will write things against you? Because I think you're an amazing writer. You've written some of the greatest books on earth. And I know who you are, and I love you. But do you ever say, God, who are these crazy people that are writing about me? Why are they here, God?
To fulfill my calling, I've got to make a lot of people really mad.
Really?
Yeah. And one of the things the Lord said, if I didn't, this is the way he put it, if I did not have a large swirl of disgruntled people around me, I was not doing his will. And so I've got a large, huge swirl of this.
Do you really? I don't think it's that large.
Yeah, no,
Is it really large?
Oh, yeah. But I remember one time I was
I may be in the will of God after all.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. But
If I got a swirl around me too.
yeah, didn't he?
Yes,
Find one thing that Jesus did or said that he was not criticized for.
exactly.
Not a single one.
Picking corn
And the
on
more
Sunday.
power he moved in, the more they threatened him until finally he raised somebody from the dead, and they said, we're going to kill you. And a lot of people have this mentality, if they could just see a miracle, they're going to change. That is not what happens. It's the opposite. Because there's something else controlling them. But yeah, there's some things that, let me put it this way. In the Old Testament, a priest would be disqualified from the priesthood if he had scabs, unhealed wounds. And because if someone's got scabs, you can't touch them, you can't get close to them. You've got to get healed of your wounds, or you can't be the priest we're called to be.
That's right.
And one of the things, it's my calling, and I'm not happy or not happy about it, but I have to knock scabs off issues. And it's painful.
Yeah.
But these are unhealed wounds, and they'll never be healed until they're opened again and cleansed.
Yes.
Wow.
And now, if we really understood what wounding is for, God doesn't do any of this wounding to us, but he allows it for a reason, and that reason is to give us authority. It's by his stripes we're healed. So the very place he got wounded, he received authority for healing others, and the same is true for us. Any place we've been wounded, once we get healed, we can have authority for healing others of those same wounds.
That is what you taught me years ago, Rick.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have that written in several of my Bibles. You taught me that principle. You said
Lord,
that.
wherever you've been bruised and hurt,
Where you've been wounded.
abortions, everything, he said,
You have the authority.
that you have the authority to heal that person.
That was the first trial of Israel in the wilderness. And every trial they went through, they had to go through to make it to the promised land. You got to deal with these issues. Okay? And the first trial was the waters of Marah, the bitter waters. They had to learn how to turn every bitter thing that had happened to them into sweetness. They had to understand even their 400 years in slavery was so that they could know and really appreciate the freedom that was coming. We can't be healed without forgiveness, which is basic Christianity, and we can't get to where we're called to be without being forgiven. So I remember when I was complaining to the Lord, I listened to a radio show of a guy who had built a national ministry basically on attacking me. Accused me, and every show was just all this great. And I listened to one, I'm going, that's a lie, that's not true, and I finally said, Lord, would you do something about this guy? Would you take him, move this guy out or whatever? And the Lord said, yes, I would be glad to, but who do you want me to put in his place?
Because there's always going to be that.
He said, you've got to have this in your life.
Yeah.
Oh,
I said,
my.
he's doing great. Leave him alone. He's doing awesome.
You don't want some strange one.
Yeah.
Is this why you have an understanding of Donald Trump? Do you think, I don't know how he tolerates. He is a man who's probably hated more than any public man I've ever seen. They're saying right now, they think Trump, they're taking bets on Trump. Have you read this?
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, in Las Vegas, they've been talking about that they don't expect the American banks to support him. And a matter of fact, even the voters, the people who voted Trump in, they're expecting them to back off here within the year.
I'd bet on Trump.
Me too.
Whoa! But he keeps coming back.
All right, let's look at the evidence just in the natural.
Yeah.
Has he lost a fight yet?
Nope. Look at him.
No.
What has happened to everyone who's tried to...
That's right.
They smear him every day.
Yeah.
It's every day.
Yeah, and it's sticking less and less. One of the reasons he was appointed was so that America would not continue to be robbed. And we have been ripped off by the world like you cannot imagine.
Absolutely.
But the reason it gave is because this man understands the ways of evil, the ways of, the ways that we've been ripped off, because he used all those ways in his business. Right. He manipulated people. He bought politicians. He knows how this works. And he finally came to the realization of how it's destroying our country.
Yeah.
But he knows those people. He knows the bad deals. He's not going to let that happen to us anymore. God does not want us ripped off because he wants our resources used for his purposes, not for the purposes of all these other agendas and everything. But there's some other reasons too. But he's going to fight for all 8 years. He's got wars to fight. He's going to be battling the whole time.
Wow.
But I tell you, it's going to take that to get us back on the tracks. We've gotten so far off. But one thing we need to do too, which I've been doing, we need to pray for Trump, but I'm convicted I didn't pray for Obama enough. It didn't say pray for the presidents you agree with or the leaders you agree with. I let him down. I didn't pray for him like I should have. I did pray for him whenever I could think, but I wasn't resolute and all that. We need to pray for all of our leaders, whether we agree with them or not. We need to pray for them to have righteous and wise counsel and many things, but
because the word tells us to.
Yeah. And if you look at, there was almost as much hatred and all issued towards Obama as there is Trump right now. It really was.
There was.
And we need to own that too. And I'm afraid it's ratcheting up. Who would want to be the next president the way things are going? But all these things will come to pass. They've come to pass on. And I think we're going to get back on track. We're going to see a lot of these issues. I don't think we're going to see them totally resolved till the King comes, till the Lord returns, but we're going to make progress. And we're going to come out of it better. And there's a lot to go on, a lot to happen in the nations. But it's all setting up for an ultimate conflict between light and darkness. We need this ultimate clash, and we need to see both for what they are. But, when Jesus came, his worst enemies were the religious conservatives.
Yeah.
And the sinners would repent and fall down. The demoniacs would fall down in front of him, bow the knee. It was the religious conservatives.
That's right.
Self-righteousness is a far worse enemy.
Oh, my.
And instead of condemning the LGBT, what did Abraham do for Sodom? He interceded. He beseeched the Lord. And we've got to do the same thing. We are not warring against flesh and blood,
That's right.
but what has these people captured? And, all these other things. But our self-righteousness can be a bigger affront and a bigger block to God's purposes than all of the wickedness that we see on the other side.
So true.
So this is a warfare against good and evil.
Yeah. But the Lord had incredible mercy for the sinner and no tolerance for the self-righteous. Mm-hmm. Now, you can be an atheist and be self-righteous. I think that's where some of the biggest ones are. You can be an atheist and have a religious spirit if you understand religious spirit. It really has nothing to do with religion. It's counter to true religion. But these are things we really need to be educated on. We need to see. We need to go forth in our armor, but also with the humility and the grace. God gives his grace to the humble. Well, we're not coming because we're so righteous. No, we've been delivered. We've been given grace, but we're no better than that on our own.
That's right.
And we've got to have the same kind of mercy for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And our victory is their liberation. But we need to keep praying for them.
Yes.
And also, I ask you to pray for Kim Jong-un and pray for North Korea and pray for Putin. Pray for the Russian people.
Yeah.
Now, Russia and America are supposed to be very good friends. I'm just saying. We're supposed to be. It may not happen. It could be we become very bad enemies again. We're supposed to be friends, close friends. We need to, and I tell you, if you knew the things that we had done to Russia, which could not even measure in the scales compare, even if they did, I'm sure they did try to manipulate our elections. I don't think they did anything. I think they tried. You can't believe how much we've done that to them. Yeah. How much they see us as hypocrites. I mean, Obama blatantly sent his team over to Israel to throw out Netanyahu. We've done this all over the world.
That's right.
And they're trying to do it to us, of course. If we were them, we would too, because if you knew what was going on, us doing to them. But it's not supposed to be that way. And there's some things that need to change. China has an incredible destiny. China, I think we're going to see the center, or the way I call it, the capital of Christianity is going to move from America to China.
Oh, no. Wow.
And it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
You know the saying that in Jerusalem, Christianity became a religion. In Athens, it became a philosophy. In Rome, it became an institution. In Britain, it became a tradition. In America, it became an enterprise. These are true. We each took and changed, and manipulated, and added to, and some of that was needed. Some of that, it was meant to happen, but there's a whole lot of bad stuff we've attached to the gospel. I saw China becoming the filter that gets all the bad stuff out. There's something about, we're going to see a church and a leadership.
Isn't the church getting stronger in China now?
In an amazing
The rumors I'm hearing, I don't know.
And you know what Trump did? Now, we had a little part in putting together that meeting with Xi and Trump at Mar-a-Lago. In fact, I think we helped make it happen. And with some people you know. But, you know, I just threw in my 2 cents worth. We need to help China in these areas. They're desperate. They need us right now. And the only thing we need in return is they need to deal with North Korea. And don't ask anything else. Well, Trump did ask something else. He threw something in there. You know what he threw in? He said, you've got to stop persecuting the Christians in China.
Wow.
Wow. He's always standing up for the church.
He is, in an amazing way. So all I'm saying, you know, there's a lot of things going on. I would say many things most people don't get a clue about. Never going to make the media that this guy's being used to do. Yeah. Guess what? Things are turning around fast.
Don't go away. We'll be right back after this special message.
I've communicated with several of the major churches. I have never heard people in such despair. They don't know what to do.
At this point in time, we don't have electricity, we don't have water, we don't have sewer, and a lot of our resources are tied up to find out what's going on.
We have had more than 40 inches of rain in the last 72 hours, and as you can see, the rain is just continuing to come. We want you to know that we appreciate any help that you can give us as we begin to reach out to this area in a recovery effort.
But can you imagine if every church was prepared to help their community, what we could do together, how we could show Christ in the times of the last days? This is our big deluxe bucket. Here's the thing. If you can give a gift of $175, you could just say, Jim, I want to give the whole thing to help people there that need food. But if you ordered this is the deluxe food, $175 bucket. We're going to throw in this Staying Alive. It's kind of named appropriately, which we just put this together a couple months ago. We're going to send this Staying Alive bucket. So if thousands of people will order, we're going to send it to the church people. Why am I doing it? So you do something. I want you to have food in your house. What's going to happen if the earthquakes hit next week? What happens if that whole string of earthquakes goes across the West Coast? what will happen? But all the responders are over on this side of the country. I believe the church should have the answers.
Yes.
I believe the church should be the lighthouse.
Amen.
I believe we should be there to help people and then give them the Word of God. But I would love to see thousands of people, if I don't do anything else in my life, and my kids, if I go to be with the Lord, I want you to get people prepared, because the final days are perilous times.
I tell you this, that though this is a major disaster, one that probably has never been known in modern times, it is a great opportunity for the church to arise and show the love of Christ in a very dark world.
This much food, retail, is worth a lot more than $175.
$645.
That's $645 worth of food. What you're going to do, you're going to receive this, the Tasty Pantry bucket. This is our main deluxe bucket, and it has honey wheat bread in it. It has black bean burgers. It has cheese pizza, creamy stroganoff, fettuccine Alfredo, Italian marinara, macaroni and cheese, cream chicken rice, Spanish rice, cheesy broccoli rice, white rice, instant potatoes, and chocolate pudding for dessert, morning mousse, low-fat milk, and they needing milk so bad. Yes. And this milk lasts 30 years, so this is amazing milk. But then the hearty vegetables, chicken soup, and the creamy potato soup. And you get another bucket of our Staying Alive, so you need to get your orders in now.
What's in the Staying Alive?
In the Staying Alive bucket, we have potato flakes, buttermilk pancakes, vegetable stew, pinto beans, quick oats, white rice, and morning mousse milk.
This bucket, of the Staying Alive bucket, this will go to a family down in Texas.
So you get one and you give one.
Yes. And so you're giving. I am obsessed with you. Are you out there? You, you watching this show, being prepared.
Yes.
So help us with this effort. Go to a phone, go to the website, make a donation, send food, bottled water, filtration, and help us. Thank you, Pastor Jim, Lori, Mundo, all of the team at the Jim Bakker Show. We love you. God bless you. Thank you for your assistance in this very difficult time.
Trump wants to negotiate.
Yeah.
Come, let us reason together type. It's kind of a biblical thing, but he's put down because he wants to negotiate. He's a negotiator. He wants to talk it out. He wants to stay friends with all the leaders of the world, and politically, the left doesn't want to stay friends with certain people now, and they brand you if you do. And so
one thing is, Christians, we cannot keep getting our opinions or knowledge, even of some of the things that are presented as facts that are not facts. We need a whole new source of information. And we've got to have discernment. Now, how many Christians have true discernment? What they have is suspicion that parades as discernment. And they can't sense when they're being lied to, or when things are being exaggerated. And,
that's not good.
And Trump is totally not the person he's been presented as being by our media. He's rough around the edges. He's that nature of personality, but so have some of the great leaders in history been that way. Yeah. And we need somebody like that, decisive, strong, resolute. But Trump does not fear men. He does not respect people. He's used them, manipulated them enough not to respect them, except for one group of people. One people group he has the most unbelievable respect for, clergy.
It's true.
Pastors. He will just become like a humble child before almost anyone who is in the ministry. And it's sincere.
Well, one of the things, Lori and I we call in and we talk, and we have a group meeting that we're on the phone with the White House. Can you imagine Jim and Lori on the phone with the White House? And the thing that, they don't ever close a meeting, but the main thing throughout the whole thing is pray. The president wants you to pray for this today. All these preachers in America are on the phone with the White House. Do you guys get that at all? Lori and I were just in the White House, and we were there in a meeting to help pray and whatever. And
Ann Graham.
Ann Graham, Ruth Graham's daughter, Ann Graham was in the meeting with us. Ann saw us and hugged us as we came in to the White House, and she wanted to say hello and talk a little bit. So what she wanted to say was her dad, she calls him Daddy. She said, Daddy, we had a rule that if the White House called, we were there. And she had to shuffle meetings and everything to get to the White House that day. And she said, I think she was driving, I don't know. And she was going all over there, to try to be there. And that was the thing that God spoke to me as a young preacher when I was going to the White House more, that if the president called or the White House called, I was to go and pray. I don't care whether it was Democrat and Jimmy Carter, who I think the world of, and I know he's got enemies as well as friends, but Jimmy Carter called for me to come to Air Force One. And he was losing the election. He was president, but he knew he was about to, and I laid hands on him on Air Force One in his private room by myself with him. But he was so hurting. And it's just like this thing with the Civil War. They say, we're going to tear these statues down. But as they were tearing that one statue down, on that statue, it says, in memory of our fallen soldiers. And the next few days, I met with some very influential people, and they said, we are related to General Lee. And the other person, the lady, said she was related to one of the other generals. And she said, this is my family. And I thought, has anybody tried to bring peace to this argument about the statues? These are just people who died fighting for a cause that families were divided even in the Civil War. But to bring love and peace back, my next question was, and you can comment on this if you want what I just said, but I just wanted to ask about the generals. You know a lot of generals. I think you have generals on your board as well. Do you have any information of what is going on with Korea, what is going on in the world with maybe Iran? But what's really happening? Is this part of the at war with Korea and Iran?
Yeah. Well, they're real threats, and the you understand the EMP threat,
yes.
Electromagnetic pulse. You've had Forsham on your
Yes.
program.
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's the greatest threat.
Yes.
North Korea has 2 satellites flying over us every day. They shouldn't be allowed.
No.
If I were president today, they would come down today. I'd say, you're not flying a satellite over us.
We've had generals on our show said he would have them shot out of the sky.
I would too. Because they could be carrying what could be used as an EMP, which is you only need a low yield nuclear device at those altitudes would wipe out the electrical grid of the U.S. Forsham estimated 80% of Americans would die in 1 year. Mm-hmm. The CIA did a study on that about the same time. Jerry was with the CIA. Yes. Mm-hmm. He said they estimated 90% would die in the first year. There'd be no more deliveries of food or anything. It'd be Houston for the whole country. No power, no cars moving, nothing.
If we think it's bad in Houston, people are stranded,
Yeah.
this would be totally shut down of the United States of America.
Well, remember when they said they had exploded a hydrogen bomb? And it was so small, everybody said, that's not such a big deal. That's not a big deal. It was the exact size and released the exact low yield, radiation that you use for an EMP.
Wow.
All they have to do is put one 200 miles over Kansas. The whole country's wiped out.
Wow.
No more electricity, no computers, no cars will work, except for ones built before 1976 or something like that don't have computers. Right. We're grounded. I mean, this is the real threat. Now, they could put a fishing trawler right off our coast. This is something that cannot be allowed. They could do that to Japan, even though Japan has hardened their grid. Russia's supposedly hardened their grid. China's hardened their grid. South Korea's hardened their grid. Almost everybody but America's hardened their grid. We're the most vulnerable in the world right now. And one of the threats North Korea made about us, they said, we're going to turn your lights out. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? What are they preparing for?
That's EMP.
That's EMP.
Absolutely.
And if you understand EMP, they can explode the device in space, do no damage on the earth, not kill or wound anybody on the earth. Mm-hmm. But it'll kill us by starving us in every other way. This is the greatest threat now. And I wonder if some of the military people in our administration right now are really facing that part. Now, I think Trump gets it.
He does.
Yeah. And
that was one of the things he ran on.
Yeah. Now, another thing that is a real serious threat to us, we've got our attention on all these other things now, but I tell you, ISIS and Al-Qaeda, they are using this time. And if we do have people in top positions in our administration that do not really understand the Muslim Brotherhood and what a threat it is to America. It was designated a terrorist organization by Saudi Arabia, by Egypt, by many other Middle Eastern countries. They understand who the Muslim Brotherhood is. On the front page of their website until a few years ago, in plain English, their mission statement was the destruction of America, using our own constitution, political correctness, and all this against us. That was their mission, to destroy America. Then you have the Homeland Security trial in Texas. You have all this that proves everything about them. And we've got military leaders, top positions in our government right now, who don't understand the Muslim Brotherhood. How can, basic military thing, you cannot defeat an enemy you don't understand or don't see. How did they get there? We have a very compromised military leadership. For not just the last 8 years, but especially the last 8 years, most of the promotions in our military were given to people who were politically compliant rather than competent military leaders. Mm-hmm. We've got politicians throughout the main top leadership of our military. Ken Blackwell was over all the domestic appointments under Pence for the Trump. And Ken, he was the first black mayor of a major city in America. He'd been a UN ambassador, an ambassador on certain levels, but been in government forever, it seemed. But I talked to him for hours and hours. We hunted together for 3 days and all. And I said, how's this working? What's going on here? And he said, man, we've never seen anything like this before. In government, he said, I've never seen anything like this. Every job has to have a clear job description. And then anyone nominated for that job has to be proven as competent. He said, nobody is getting a job because they are owed favors by Trump. It's all about defining the job and then getting the best person in that position who can do that job. And that's one reason Trump has not finished all of his appointments. He's saying a lot of these are not jobs at all. We don't need anybody to replace them. We need them to go away and quit paying them.
We didn't sing happy birthday to Rick.
Oh, now that's a great transition.
Another year's passed.
Yes.
I'm another year old.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time this show runs, it might even be your birthday right on that moment. So, Sue, sing it for us.
Happy, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy, happy birthday to you. May all your dreams come true. Happy, happy birthday to you, Mama Lori. You know we love you. Happy, happy birthday to you. And may God bless you.
Happy birthday! I don't know if we can get a close-up of that or not.
It's so pretty. I love it.
But it's a beautiful,
It's a cross bracelet.
and that cross is 24 karat gold plated. It's heavy gold plate. It's plated. It's not pure gold. It would be $1,000. And it's got a 7-inch chain with a 2-inch extension on it.
Which those are so, which is what
And
for all.
can you see a close-up again? Those are Swarovski crystals on the cross there. And so it's just, I love crosses. I'm cross fanatic. I love the cross.
Yeah.
But so that's the Lori Cross bracelet. That's
I
a
love
new
this.
piece.
Yes.
Brand new piece.
Love it.
And then you get also the necklace she has on.
Right.
And this is kind of like the Lori signature locket, but it's not. This is a new edition of it. Those are Swarovski crystals also. It's a 17-inch chain, Lori, with a 3-inch extender for the necklace.
Yes.
So there's nearly 100 Swarovski, and I'm saying that wrong, crystals in that heart, on that heart.
It's beautiful
And-
in person. It's gorgeous.
And Lori's going to do something totally crazy. I can't believe she's doing it.
I said I'd never
But-
do this again, but I'm going to do it
but
for if
This,
you want. If
so many of you
like.
have her book, and it's more than I could ever ask. And this, I still think it's a great book, and it's changed so many women's lives. Women who've had abortions, women who've gone through and this book just tells them they can make it through anything.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to only do 300, but as long as the books last, she's going to do it.
Wow.
And we'll bring her chocolate or something to keep her
You
alive.
guys better make sure. Yeah.
And
Give me
so, but for a gift of $60, you're going to receive the hand-signed book from Lori to put in your library forever, and then the beautiful, beautiful heart necklace. This is a new one here. Doesn't it look bright? Sue, what do you think of that cross? Doesn't that look bright?
Beautiful.
Someday we'll get Jewelry TV when we decide.
I have to say, I like the extender.
Right, exactly.
Because not all of us have a small wrist. So therefore, if you have a larger wrist, it will fit. I like that.
But this is a good
It's a beautiful
idea
set. Yes,
of
absolutely.
our home shopping,
That's
the
right.
faith-based home shopping network
right.
that's
PDL
coming
shop.
very soon. And Lori has a whole new line of products.
Skincare
She's been working,
products.
but I mean, they really are amazing, and she's been working hard on this. And here's the headline in the paper today, but it's the rise and fall of Christian bookstores. Almost all the bookstore chains have gone bankrupt. They've closed down. And Rick was telling me that even the secular
Oh, yeah, they're going down.
bookstores.
Right here talks about Borders, B. Dalton, Walden Books. They're all
closed.
Barnes & Noble is teetering on the brink, it says.
Amazing.
And so 30 years ago, I felt God showed me to do a faith-based network where we sell Bibles, books, anything for Christian home. but to support Christian television. And we want to expand to several networks. I mean, full networks of programming. We've already got one going where, and Rick's on it, is our, Prophet Speak networks. All the proceeds are going to support the final network that we're building right now. In fact, the equipment is already being manufactured for that. So people, like a situations in Texas.
Right.
Well, the power is going out. People can't talk on the phone. But you talk about if the EMP bomb happens, this will be able to communicate to the whole world. And we have the only major prophet network I know of. It's the prophets, the main prophets. And we just added a few more this week. We have the full prophets network. One of my dreams is to do things for kids. I was the first person to do a kids show.
Right.
That's the original slide from Come On Over from 1960. It was a kid show. It was Come On Over to our house, and we had, puppets and stuff like that. And so everybody, I would like you to be the first ones to do a special on the Faith-Based Shopping Network.
Mm-hmm. We call it PTL Shop. And the reason we're doing this is because we want the Jim Bakker Show to be freed up so we don't have to talk about product all the time and all of that.
Wouldn't you like that?
Yeah, well, yeah, and we could just minister and minister and minister, but unfortunately people don't send in funds when you just minister. It's sad but true.
It's really a potential for a revival in disguise. Because it's patterned after the original 700 Club back 100 years ago when I started back. And we plan to do it eventually live 24 hours a day. So anytime, night or day, you can tune in and there's going to be people there with you. Like Caleb and Harmony.
You guys?
Caleb and Harmony are going to be one of the hostess. They're married, so they're one. So, but they're going to sing.
Hostess.
But it will be that you can call in for prayer. You don't have to shop. You can pray. And Tammy Sue's going to be one of the hostesses on that.
Yes.
And there's going to be, and sing.
And pray.
And sing. So if anybody would like to help get started, but we need to pay our bills right now. It's difficult during these times when people are so looking at everything else.
Exactly.
But you get this beautiful pave, heart necklace. You get the beautiful cross bracelet.
Yeah.
And all for a $30 gift, plus a signed Lori's great book for $60. What did I say?
30?
Hey, she looks 30, but she's turning 60.
Well, oh, Ricky. Now that,
I'm trying to get brownie points
Ricky.
for the home.
Yeah,
I'm looking for any brownie points I can get.
Yeah, that was a good one, Rick. Okay.
One of the things we want to do on today's show is why there's so many still suffering in Houston, actually. Do you know they've opened another place to help people in Dallas even?
Yeah.
Thousands.
Well, they're trying to go outside of Houston because they're running out of room to house people.
You've been talking to some of the pastors in Texas.
Yes, with Pastor
in
Don.
the Houston area. And the thing that they're saying is, we need your help, Jim. We need your help. But we don't know how to get the food because they can't even get in to help us.
Exactly.
It's a serious time.
There's two parts of what's going on. What's happening right now and then the aftermath of the storm. So it's going to take a lot of food, a lot of water. So this is the opportunity for people to join hands with us and become a part of the solution.
These people have such a job in front of them. And do you remember when we helped Bishop Ron Webb?
Absolutely. Restore that community.
The thing I learned is where the water went in their houses, no matter how high it up, wherever the height is, they have to tear that wallboard out, that plaster out. It will mold, and it's against the law. They won't even allow it. So every one of those homes that have had water in them, they have to go in, take all the furniture out, most likely, gut the walls up as far as the water went, And if it seeped up, you got to take it all out, Mondo.
Everything.
It was unbelievable when we saw a city. Can you imagine a city, the 4th largest city in America, is going to have to, almost every home, if any home that had water, has to be gutted. Well, we want to say, hey, we're here to help.
That's it.
And that's what this ministry is trying to do. And this bucket right here,
Staying Alive.
Staying Alive, it's got a great name on it. So that bucket is if you order this special for a gift of $175, what you're going to do, you're going to receive the Tasty Pantry bucket. This is our main deluxe bucket. And it has honey wheat bread in it. It has black bean burgers. It has cheese pizza, creamy stroganoff, fettuccine Alfredo, Italian marinara, macaroni and cheese, cream chicken rice, Spanish rice, cheesy broccoli rice, white rice, instant potatoes, and chocolate pudding for dessert, morning mousse, low-fat milk. And they're needing milk so bad. And this milk lasts 30 years, so this is amazing milk. But then the hearty vegetables, chicken soup, and the creamy potato soup. But now you get this deluxe bucket of food, several months of food, and you get another bucket of our Staying Alive. Here's the thing. This bucket, of the Staying Alive bucket, this will go to a family down in Texas.
So you get one and you give one.
Yes. And so you're giving. I am obsessed with you. Are you out there? You, you watching this show, being prepared.
Yes.
It's so sad. Mondo almost hit me, not me, but he was mad today. You were mad today. Come on, let's face it.
I was mad. I was angry. I think the church has missed one more time the opportunity to be a part of the solution. But what happens all the time, we're always too late. We're always 1 minute too late, 1 day too late. Every single time something happens, and I was frustrated because we have cried out, get prepared, get prepared. And what happens? No one is prepared. No one has a plan. When you think other people, this is the problem. When you assume that someone else is taking care of the problem, that's number one danger, by assuming that someone else is taking care of the problem, because they're not.
You know,
you have to go. Our time is way gone.
I know our time is gone, and you guys can edit this out if you don't want to use it, but I saw something today on the Weather Channel. I watched this father who he literally had to call and find somebody with boats to go rescue his daughter, who was on the 4th floor, and they had power up until today, right now as we were taping, and the daughter, the son-in-law, and the little grandbaby had to go and had to find somebody with boats to go rescue his daughter, and now he, probably as we're taping right now, was on the process of going over on the other side of I-10 to get his other daughter rescued, because all power just went out. Here's what the daughter said. She said, "We've been through this for 3 days now, and we're out of food." And so Jim Cantori, the Weather Channel, he said, "So what's the first thing you're going to do to the father that went to go rescue?" And he got boats. He literally got boats for his children to get rescued.
Lori, the grocery stores are closed.
Well, here's what he said.
They can't even operate.
Here's what he said. He said, "I'm prepared, but you know, you try to tell your grown kids to get prepared, but they don't listen." He said this. I'm like, wow, this guy's good, you know. But he said, you know, kids are going to do what they're going to do, even though they're grown kids. And he said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm taking them home and I'm going to feed them, because I have food. And I'm going to wrap him up in a blanket, and I'm going to hold my grandbaby. I'm going to go get my other daughter on the other side of I-10, who is now everything. All the power's gone out now. Everything is happening, and everything was rising. The floods were. People are on top of the roofs. You've seen the pictures.
Do you know cities in America right now, at this moment, as we're on the air, have no water, no sewer, no electricity, no food? no moving vehicles, and all the houses are wiped out. Cities in that condition. And people are so smart out, like we're going to curse God. But you know what? We do need his help. Yes, we do need what he supplies. We do need sunshine and water in moderate amounts. Right. And we're going to be sending this food. If you order it, this bucket here, the Staying Alive bucket, goes to help a family. Yes. Now listen to me. You could have the next thing. The gentleman from India that prophesied that storm would hit, and it said Houston. Yes. In his prophecy. He said Houston, and he said that it would be massive, or what was the word? Mm-hmm. Massive flooding. Yes. And it's come exactly true.
We came out of the plane and we walked on the bridge. As soon as I stepped foot on Houston airport, I heard the voice. I think this angel followed me, you know. He said, this city will be destroyed by a massive flood. I thought, oh no. This time, these things really bothered me very much. It has never bothered me in the past. Never. I just didn't know why it bothered me so much. Until 2 days later, when I saw in the news, the nation, the highest legislation in the country, has passed the same-sex marriage law. Then I understood why. Things will come speedily. Speedily. Destruction will come speedily. So all your prayers can save you and your family. But that which has been determined upon the nation will come.
Yeah. Right. Now, here's the thing that I've been thinking about as I've been watching this storm. If our partners are living there, somebody with a nice, cozy home, say it was high water, if it was a 2-story house, yeah, they could move to the 2nd story. If they had our generator, which is, we have a lower price today, yeah, just for a few days. If people would want to get it's the brand new one, you can get it financed and everything. But if they have that generator there, with financing available right now, we reduced the price, to $3,500 for the whole thing. Wow. And that's the expandable fuelless generator. Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing, amazing deal with about 300 times more power, mm-hmm, than the last model.
You know, the value of what you're getting is $6,255, and for today only $3,500.
You get that bag that's an EMP bag that you can put it in, so if the EMP bomb that we talked about on the shows,
absolutely,
that comes with it. There's the smaller unit,
yeah, and that's for $1,800, and you get the expandable fuelless generator.
They lowered that down too.
Absolutely, very low. I mean, this is a value of $3,155.
So they reduced it to $1,800 today, and that's the 100-watt solar panel comes free with it, mm-hmm, an extension cord to the solar panel. That has financing. You can go online and see it if you want. Yeah. And then this right here, these 6 bottles, it's the Seychelles Extreme. What does it do?
Matter of fact, it takes out odors, chlorine, silt, sand, sediments, pesticides, harmful metals, aluminum, arsenic, asbestos, chromium-6, fluorides, copper, lead, mercury, and even radiation.
So it removes like 99.999 mm-hmm. of all contaminants.
That's right.
Plus, this is the new filter.
Yeah.
That takes out radiation. This is the lifesaver. This, if you don't ever order anything but this, you can only live 3 or 4 days without water. But I was just thinking as I was watching those people all in the boats, you know, and walking, and they're saying, I'm thirsty, I need water, I need water, I need water. If you have one of these, all you do in that flood water, this is what's so amazing. I mean, I did this to the Mississippi River, and that was like this water.
Yeah.
The water mixes with sewer and mixes with everything else. Yeah. So, but you just take this, take the top out, just as you're walking along, dip in the water. You got water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. And so here, you'd put the water in there, this great big old filter, put it in there. It'll filter out all the nasties, and then you're staying alive. Staying alive is taking care of your own self.
That's it.
Not depending on the government to do it or anybody else. They can't. There's no way physically. But here's the thing. 6 of these bottles are only $125.
That's right. So you get
6. 5,
and we'll give 1 for free.
Yeah. Plus, that should be the price of 1 bottle, Mondo.
Absolutely.
They were, I think, $150 when they first came out. Mm-hmm. And this is cheap.
Could someone call in and order these bottles and ask for them to be sent down to the victims of Hurricane Harvey?
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Okay. And if you want half of them to go to the hurricane people, we'll do that. Or if you need to stock up on these. Every home needs these. Mm-hmm. And so here's the thing. If you have a crisis, you put this on and don't let it go.
No.
You don't loan it. You keep it. You hang on to it like it's your little baby. You just say, nobody's going to take my bottle from me.
That's it.
This is your life. This saves your life.
But this is what I'm talking about. You have to be ready. You have to be prepared. We are giving you practical items that you can have for your church, for your home, for your study group, to have a plan. We bring people here that's sitting here where I'm sitting, reminding you that it's not crazy to prepare. Only a fool knows that something is coming and it doesn't prepare. That should be a warning to you. Call right now. Stand with us as we help the people in Houston and partner with a Pastor Don to be able to distribute the food and be able to distribute the water bottles to them. You're going to be a part of a solution by calling today or going to the website and being the first one to say, Jim and Lori, I want to be there to respond with you and to be one of those that can help people out.
Call 1-888-988-1588 and order, or go to jimbakkershow.com and shop. This is just a little warning. I believe that God's trying to say, get ready. I want to be a part of the harvest time. And the world will come to your door, your neighbors. And if you're ready, you're going to say, I want to feed you, but sit down and let me talk to you about what's happening. Jesus Christ is coming back. Are you ready? And then you can tell them how to be ready. God loves you. He really does. Bye-bye for today.
Bye-bye. Love you. Call now, 1-888-988-1588. And you can write Pastor Jim at P.O. Box 7330, Branson, Missouri, 65615. Thank you so much for your prayers and donations. You are the reason we can keep broadcasting around the world.